Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to episode 43 of Direwolf20's Server Play series. I, unfortunately, am a little bit alone at the moment on the server. Lots of people still working pretty hard on the 1.5 updates. Basically, what I'm getting from everybody is that there's a lot of work involved in this. Basically, for those who haven't been aware, a lot of the way Minecraft draws graphics has changed, from what I understand. And I understand very little. I understand almost nothing. But like the way things are drawn in the world has changed significantly. So any mods that use stuff and have a lot of different blocks and items and do a lot of rendering and all that kind of stuff have a lot of work to like break that down and put it back together in such a way that it still works and behaves the way it should. So lots of work for the mod authors. I questioned whether or not I was going to work too much on an episode when there was not many people around, but I decided, yeah, there's something I really want to work on. It's a project that I've actually spent a lot of time between last episode and this one off camera working on because it's a lot of computer-based code. Now, that's not to say we're going to have a ton of computer stuff this episode, but there will be a good portion of it. But don't worry, it's going to be pretty fun. So, without further ado, I'm going to get started working on a little project. And I'm not going to keep it too, secret for too long because, as usual, I'm probably going to put the name of the project in the video title, and then people are going to laugh at me that I always do that. So I'm building a checkerboard. That's right, I am building a game of checkers. So I'm just going to go along like this and lay out my very first checkerboard. Cool. Now this is going to be a game of checkers that I've kind of came up with a neat plan for. I'm not going to give you the full details, but I will tell you that it's a checkerboard game. Now, with regards to the actual main focus of the gameplay, it is going to be on a computer craft monitor. But if you're paying attention, you'll see that I was starting to lay down wool. What could that be for? I don't know. We're going to find out pretty soon. But check it out. So here's what I've written so far using Computer Craft. It draws a game board, and it automatically starts it off with a player set. You've got your black pieces up top, and you've got your white pieces down on the bottom. Now, or the red ones, I mean. So black versus red, right? Now, because, black on black would not show too well, I'm actually using gray instead of black. That's a nuance. And I'm actually using pink instead of the red color, just to make it, a little bit easier to see. But you can see up here that it keeps track of whose turn it is. There's a new game button. And actually, I made it a kind of a strong point to keep most of the rules, as much as I knew, of checkers built in. So you can see here, it starts off with pink's turn. All you have to do is right-click on a square, and it even tells you the coordinates of that square. So that's actually 6 over and 6 down. And you can, once you've clicked on that square, that's the piece that you have highlighted. I might do something where it actually shows you, which square is highlighted in game by flashing it or something, or maybe changing the color of the background. I don't know, we'll figure something out. But then you right click where you want that player to go, and ta-da, the checker moves. How cool is that? Now it does keep track of whose turn it is, so I cannot right click on a pink square right now. You'll note that it's not showing the coordinate. That means that you're not allowed to move that piece yet. Okay, now as for moving the black piece, it does kind of make sure that you can't move anywhere that you're not supposed to. So I can't move down, I can't move to the sides, I can't move several pieces further away. None of that's going to work out. It actually checks to make sure that you're allowed to do what you're trying to do. Something I was pretty proud of. So you can go ahead and move here, and you see things are behaving pretty well. Now that it's red's turn, you'll also note that you can't move backwards, because as you guys should know who have played checkers before, you can't move backwards until you get kinged. And don't worry, I do have kings built in. Haha, look at that. So you can jump, and you can see as soon as I jumped that black checker piece, it was removed from the board. And the same for the pink one when I jump across there. Cool, right? So, yeah, it's definitely red's turn now, so I'm just going to make my way down here and show you guys how to king your characters. It's pretty neat. Just like you would expect, you can go ahead and move your pieces, and once you get all the way to the other side of the board, the star changes to a different color. The gray ones actually turn white, and I've got it set up so that the pink ones turn blue, which is pretty neat, I thought. Yeah, pretty cool. So let's do that real quick. Move up. Make sure you click the right spot. Now, don't worry, guys. There is going to be more to this pretty soon. Let's see. Pink. We'll move him up here. We'll move this guy over here, and we'll get this kinged. See, look at that. Blue. Nice, right? And then once you have, gone ahead and christened a king, he can move backwards, just like you might expect. Nice, right? So lots of stuff to check out. Now I do have some other plans for this. Haha, look at that. Cool, right? Yeah, I'm pretty proud of this in case you haven't noticed. And then, of course, you can click the New Game button, and boom, everything's reset, and you get a new game. I do want to show you guys the code, but I know a lot of people don't like seeing huge amounts of code in the episode. So I'm going to go over just a bit of how it works, and as usual, I'm going to paste bin it. I won't paste bin it just yet, because I want to make sure everything's done. But I've got further plans for this code, and I want to talk about them in a bit here. But for now, the game basically works. As far as I can tell, right now, the game is playable. Like, you could play against somebody and have a good time. The only thing it's not going to know is actually the name of the player that clicked on the square, so you can't, like, obviously I just played against myself, and, I couldn't, register that only I can click pink and only somebody else can click black. Unfortunately, that doesn't work that way. But for the most part, it works pretty darn well. So yeah, I am excited by this. So let's check out some of the code. I'm going to delve into it now. It's not terribly, well, it's probably not super, organized, but I think it should be pretty easy to follow along. So, like most programs, I've liked to break it down into functions. So, first off, we've got an array of data called board. And we've got a nice little variable called current turn. This keeps track of where all the pieces are on the board, and this keeps track of whose turn it is. We've got a function called load board, and basically what that does is it creates a two-dimensional array. So I break this board down into 8 pieces, 1 through 8 across and 1 through 8 down, for a total of 64 squares. And I broke them down into 2 dimensions. So 1, 1 is up here on the left, and then we've got 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5, 1, 6, 1, 7, 1, 8, 1. And then down here we've got 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5, 1, 6, etc. So over here is 2, 6. And when I right click on that, you'll kind of see that that's the case if I exit out and run checkers again, so that it actually does what I'm doing. See? 2, 6. So that's how it breaks down the board positions. And that's pretty important. Now the other thing to note is that these squares are made up of just blank spaces with a background color. And there are 3 spaces across and 2 spaces down. Pretty cool. And the important part for that is that this guy on the XY coordinate, like the XY of the spaces on the screen, starts at 3, 2. And I basically say like every third block is a new square. So that's real easy because I can use the modulus function in ComputerCraft, just dividing by 3. And if there's no remainder when you divide by 3, you know that's a square. Pretty cool, right? And the same for going down. I just do it modding 2 because they're too high, and this starts at 2. So this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Just dividing by 2 every time if there's no remainder. If it's an even number, you know it's a new square going down. Hopefully that makes sense. Now I'm not going to go too deep into it because I think I'm already losing some of you. So I will kind of just briefly go through here and just talk about some of the quick functions. You can set a piece on the board. You just give it the coordinates and the color of the piece that's sitting there. So for example, this coordinate system doesn't have a piece on it, so the color is empty. It's nil. It's nothing. Null or nil in ComputerCraft, so that's what that is. You can also get the board piece, which just tells you the color of the piece on the board in that position. So if I say, hey, what's there? The get piece function tells me it's either null or nil, and here, if I ask what's here, it'll return pink. Here it returns gray. Cool. You can see the new game board here, just, that's the one where it's filling in all the pieces in the new game pattern of checkers. And the current turn always starts with pink, because I think red always starts in checkers, right? I think so. Switch turn, real easy, just swaps what the current turn is, and then displays it. The display turn function just shows up here whose turn it is. Not so bad so far, right? See? Red, black, showing the turn. Draw pieces, go ahead and draw all the pieces on the board. Not so bad. And the draw piece function that's alone, just draw pieces draws all of them at a time, and draw piece by itself, which might not be here, we'll have to find it somewhere, shows the individual piece at a time. Get XY, given A and B. That's one we'll get back to in a bit. But it basically says where the XY coordinate of the top left is, given the AB. So AB is what I referred to as the 2, 6 position. So this is 2, 6, but obviously the XY coordinates of where I'm clicking is not 2, 6. So that's what that does. Not bad, not bad. Now, you can also get the corner. Given an XY position, this function will return the XY of the top left corner of a piece. So it basically, like anywhere I click inside here, it'll track down the top left corner, and from there it can just divide by 3 and divide by 2 to get the AB position, which is exactly what it's doing right here in get board position. It gets the corner of the XY that we clicked on, and then it divides by 3 and divides by 2 to find out the AB coordinates, or the coordinates on the board. Now there's a bunch of other cool stuff here that I'm not going to go too deep into, but you can see when I'm waiting for the player and we're trying to figure out whether or not they clicked on the right spot. You can see whether or not it's the right turn. I've got a function for whether or not the piece that's clicked on, or the piece in an AB coordinate, is a king or not. Real simple. This is the move validity. So basically it just checks to see if it's valid move. First off, it checks to see if the piece that you clicked on first is actually a piece. So, if I click here, that's not a valid move to start with because there's no piece there already. Stuff like that. Then we also check, if we're moving in the right direction. So we have to make sure that if it's a pink color, it's moving the right way, or gray. But blue and white, of course, we don't care what direction they're moving in, so it's all right. A couple other things here. It also checks for valid jumps. This is all checking to see if, first off, you have to check to make sure that you're jumping 2 positions and not like 3 or 4 all at once. Then it also checks to make sure the piece exists that you're jumping over, and it makes sure that it's an opposing color piece, because you don't want to jump a pink with a pink. That wouldn't work out too well. I even have double jumping built in here. It actually checks to see if there's a valid double jump before it finishes your turn, and asks you if you want to double jump. And then finally, just the actual moving of the piece and the new game function. That's all it really is. I'll paste bin this code for you guys. Maybe I'll paste bin it now in the form of just being able to play on a monitor. Now, I do want to build something cool in the world of Minecraft, so I'm going to start working on that this episode, and hopefully somebody will join me and we can have a good time playing checkers together. But for now, I do want to show you the double jump, because I didn't show you that a minute ago. So real quick and easy, we'll just do this, and then this, and we'll just move something else out here. Let's do this, and this. Cool. Now, in order to double jump, it's real easy. Once you've jumped, it actually checks to see based on where the piece that just landed is, and it asks you, do you want to double jump? If you do, just click again where you want it to land, and boom, it double jumped. Cool, right? I know, I'm a nerd. I was proud of that. Sorry. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. And if you don't want to double jump for any reason, you can just right click again, and it ends your turn on the same spot. Neat. New game, please. Boom. Now, what's my cool and fun plan that I really want to make this even more interesting? Well, first, how about I paste bin checkers for you? All you have to do is, I want to paste bin put checkers. So there you go, some code for you guys. Hope it works. I don't think there's any bugs yet, but there might be like a little one here and there. If you run into it, I will probably eventually find it as well, and hopefully fix it and give you guys a new version if there is one. All you need is 1, 2, 3, 4 monitors across, and 1, 2, 3 monitors high. So 4x3 screen of ComputerCraft monitors, and just make sure the computer is underneath any one of these monitors. Just make sure it's on the bottom. Of course, if you're good at programming or you know the way the ComputerCraft stuff works, you're more than welcome to change that up and do whatever you want with it. Cool. So enjoy the checkers program. Now let's talk about why am I building a chessboard in game. Well, one word for you guys. Turtles. I thought it would be really fun, and I'm kind of inspired a little bit, I think, by like that Harry Potter, the first movie or book, depending on which one you guys, want to say I'm being influenced by. Probably the book, I guess. But yeah, remember they had that battle chess? I was like, oh, how cool would that be to build like a battle chess game? And then I considered how hard it would be to write a ComputerCraft program that validated chess moves. And I was like, oh, right, that would be really complicated, wouldn't it? So chess moves would not be easy to validate. There's like 1,001 rules of chess. So I was telling this story to Sarge, by the way, the guy who's responsible for MCP and every mod ever. And he's like, oh yeah, one time I wrote a chess game in 72 hours. It had artificial intelligence too, so you could play against the computer. And I'm like, oh, well, I'm not that good. And I'm doing it in Lua, which I don't know if it was in Lua. He said it was not, so I don't know what language it was in, but I was just like, yeah, I'm not that good of a programmer. So I'm doing checkers because it was a lot easier to write move validity and tracking the position of all the different pieces and all that stuff. Way, way simpler game, than chess. So I'm debuting MineCheckers or Battle Checkers. I think I'm going to just call it MineCheckers. That sounds fun. So what I'm going to do here is build a chessboard in real life, and I'm going to have turtles representing the chess pieces, or the checkers pieces, yeah. And from there, I just move the turtles as I move positions on the board. So when I come over here and I just go like that, or if I'm actually running checkers, and I do this, hopefully there'll be a turtle in real life that moves from here to here. Cool, right? And it'll all be, basically my plan was write the checkers program on the computer first, so you guys don't have to watch what was literally several hours worth of programming straight, and then build the fun pieces in game so you guys get the entertainment value of it all. And I've paste bin the code so you can go download it and learn from it and all that good stuff. But otherwise, I think we're doing pretty good here. So I'm going to finish building out this chessboard, and then I have to go craft a few turtles. But, like I said, I'll be back in a few, and we'll start putting together a program. Now, I do not want to exclude the people who really do like to see and learn some of the concepts behind programming. So just fair warning, I will be doing a little bit of programming this episode, but I'm going to try and keep it interesting, and I'm also going to try and make it cool because I'm going to have, turtles moving around and playing checkers with against each other. So, we'll see how the feedback on the episode is, but overall, I'm hoping you guys enjoy it. So I'll be back in a few when I'm ready to start building MineCheckers. Alright guys, so as you know, each player in checkers has 12 pieces. So I'm making some ruby swords to go with my turtle. So all I need is a ruby sword turtle. So let's just snag one of these. And I'll just snag one of these guys. And this is what I'm going to put together. Melee turtle. Can I do this somehow? Get him in there as the target? Because I think if I look up the recipe on this melee turtle, it's not going to work. Darn, I wonder if there's any way... Oh, yeah, derp. I could probably just do this. That should work, sort of. There we go. Cool. Haha! Winning. Of course, they got somehow different, so they won't stack, but that's alright. We'll fix that later. Because they're all going to be different eventually. Next up, I need some shears. So, real easy. Just snag this out of here. I don't need this much anymore. Now it's all about the shears. And because we're going to need about 12 of them, I think 24 ought to do.
User joined your channel.
Hey, somebody joined my channel. Who's that?
Rawr.
Soren! About bloody time.
Let me guess, you're recording.
Yeah, I'm recording. I was just commenting on how I had nobody to play with. Player joined me on the server because we had to reboot it for weirdness, but now he's just running around hanging out and he doesn't talk. So, yay, somebody's here to hang out. Dude, I'm making my chessboard. Which I keep calling a chessboard even though it's a checkerboard.
Yeah. I'm about to say, it's like, oh, you actually upgraded, okay.
Yeah, no, it's a checkers board. I don't know why I said chess. You know why I said chessboard? Because I was just explaining like a minute ago on YouTube. I wanted it to be a chessboard, but then I realized how complicated and insane that would be to write in the program code. Like, this took me many hours. Like, it probably took me at least like 5 or 6 hours of straight coding just to do. So, yeah, YouTube audience, you were spared. Consider yourselves spared. You gonna come hang out sometime?
I think I will.
Yay! I just built the checkerboard in game, and now I'm going to be laying out the melee turtles and the shearing turtles, and then I have a bit of coding to do, which I might do a little bit on camera, but as usual, I'm going to try and cut out most of it if I can. It's been suggested that I should record my coding and upload it as optional content. I probably could have done that. It probably would have been smart in hindsight, but it's all pretty much pre-recorded. Maybe what I'll do is record a separate episode that literally is just dedicated to talking about all the code inside the computer. So yeah, I think that might be a good idea. I will break down each function and method. So if you guys really want to see how this checkers program works, definitely look for another video coming up at some point where I just spend 15 or 20 minutes talking about the logic in the code. And then people can be like, wow, Dyer, you really don't know how to code that well. And I'll be like, yeah, I know, but it works, so I'm happy. All right, so back to building this. I decided to go with shearing turtles for my gray or black pieces. So I'm thinking this side should be the pink side. So we want to start off with the turtles here, right? And they can be like this. Dude, watching these turtles land on this checkers board is already making me really excited for this game. I just want you guys to know. And then we start the same pieces over here, so we can just start off like this. No, you don't go there. You go here. Like, you know, I just wanted something on the side of the turtle that would be like clear on which one of these two turtles was which. I was trying to find a tool or something that was like gray or black in color, but there's really nothing that stood out that I liked. The closest thing I could have that was kind of gray was the bucket turtle, but those looked exactly like the turtle and was really hard to differentiate. So I decided shears versus swords. That's the name of the game. Yeah, it's no longer called checkers. It's called shears versus swords.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's probably just called checkers. I'm glad you're here, Soren. You can say interesting. Oh yeah, I do need modems, don't I? Player is correct. Yeah, I should probably go get them. I should label them all, though, at least. So I'm going to spend a few minutes just going through and labeling all these guys, and I'll be back when I'm done. All right, guys, we are back, and getting ready to start with my turtles. Look at that. Oh, it's so cool looking. I'm really excited to see this project come into fruition because, like, I've been kind of thinking about, like, how best to do this for a bit now, and I'm really excited to see it working out. Like, writing the monitor code was tricky, but now that that's working, it shouldn't be that hard to write the turtle moving code because really I just need to like tell the turtles, hey, just move a little bit one direction or another, and once you've moved, then you're good. There's a couple things I will need to do GPS based though. Specifically, I want when a turtle gets jumped, so like say this turtle jumps over another one, I want the turtle that got jumped to be like, all right, I have to get off this board now, and I want him to float over and land on a spot. And each turtle on each side will have his own spot. So I'm thinking like, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So these will be the position homes for the black turtles, and then the same over here for red, starting here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cool. So that each time a red turtle dies or is jumped, he's just like, all right. And each one will have like an out position. So like, this turtle right here will land like here, and each turtle has his own home, right? And the same for GPSing back. When I hit new game, I want each turtle to find its way back to its home GPS position, and that will be the positions they're in now. So I have to build a GPS tower to make that happen. I don't think I'm going to use GPS for the, well, I don't know. That would be a really, really efficient way to do it, though. Like, I could just be like, go to AB, and the turtle calculates, if it's like this square, the turtle knows the GPS coordinates of that square and just runs the go-to program to go there. Ooh, that might be really, really awesome. I don't know.
Decisions.
I know, it's really hard. I was going to say, like, just be like, hey, whatever. I don't know. I'll have to figure out if I want to use GPS for the turtle simple moving steps. Like, just, usually it's just, hey, like, go forward, turn left, go forward, and you're in your new spot. And then if you're jumping somebody, then it would be, like, go forward, turn left, go forward, turn right, go forward, turn left, go forward, and you're in your new spot. And then this turtle goes away. Yeah. I kind of feel like that's good. I just need to make sure I've got them programmed to face the right direction. Like I always want the red team facing this way, and I always want the black team facing that way. Couple things I have to figure out, but we'll get there. Let's build a GPS tower. Where am I going with this thing is a good question. How about just straight up? Yeah. And I think I probably want to chunk load this chunk, so why don't I keep this up here? That way the turtles, things are cool. So I guess what I'll do is, if I remember, the GPS tower optimum positioning is something along these lines. And I'm using Soaring Glass, because Soaring Glass is cool. Oh, I'm going to need like 4 or 5 more of those things that I asked you to make for me, by the way.
Photos? Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Back to bossing Soren around. Please, sir, may I have a modem?
No, you may not.
Aww.
Yes.
I said
I always wonder what
please.
would happen if you said no. No! Now what?
Yeah, good question. Alright, so once we've got these modems, I'll start putting them on the turtles and computers, but for now I've got a handy little GPS tower. Gonna go ahead and manage to get that built. You guys have seen me make GPS towers before though, so I'll be back in a few when I'm ready to actually finish this build. And, well, maybe not finish it, I've got a little bit of work to do. I'm gonna program the turtles a bit while Soren's making me wireless redstone stuff. Alright guys, and we're back after doing a little bit of programming. Just, tweaking some things, changing up the way they work. Figured out how I want to control my turtles with the code. Now, I'm going to kind of explain this to you in-game. I'm not going to go through the code too much, but I basically figured it out. When a new game is started, I'm going to tell it which computer IDs exist at which board coordinates. So, this guy is computer ID 216, and his board coordinate is, let's see, x2, y6. So at 2, 6 is computer 216. So that's going to, kind of be kept in play. Now, every time this guy moves, like the move piece command that runs on the computer is actually going to update the turtle's position as well. So it'll, go and move him over here, for example. So the main computer here is basically going to be like your master control board. And these turtles are all going to be somewhat dumb. They're not going to be all that intelligent. All they're going to do is receive commands like move forward, turn right, move left, or turn left, that kind of thing. So basically, they'll be kind of dumb. They're not going to intelligently move around. Oh, I'm hungry. Yeah, you can see how long I've been coding because I'm out of food. Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah. Like, my hunger bar was completely gone. So yeah, long story short, what these guys are going to do is they're just going to receive the commands to move forward, turn right, that kind of thing. Yeah, I think that's a good plan. So, I am going to get that stuff written now. Probably got to wrap up this episode pretty soon, though. So, what I'm going to do is do some more coding between now and then I'll come back next episode, hopefully just kind of wrapping up the last few segments of this, and then we'll get to see this whole thing in action. And maybe me and Soren will play checkers. What do you think, Soren?
Ooh.
And Soren built a nice
fun.
observation deck up here, so we can watch the checker pieces move. That was a good idea. I hadn't thought of that. So, see, that's why I keep Soren around. He has good ideas like that. Pretty cool. So, lots more to do with my turtle checkerboard. I'm calling it MineCheckers, by the way, for you guys who weren't here for that before. Yeah, MineCheckers, nice, right?
Jordan shears.
Once it's all done and working, I'm totally going to challenge Notch to a game. I'll be like, hey, Notch, up for a game of MineCheckers? And he'll probably be like usual. He'll be like, no response. But we'll try. How cool would that be? That would be awesome. But yeah, long story short, at the very least, going to try and get this game working. So, got a lot more programming to do. I'm thinking it's in good progress, though. So all the turtles have been assigned IDs. They all have RedNet. I still also have to program the code in the turtles, but I want them to all be generic. I want every turtle to have the same piece of code. And it's basically going to be like, I'm a dummy program. I receive commands from the master computer. So, that's just going to have to be written and then copied to all the turtles. And I think we'll be in pretty good shape once that's up and running. Yeah, let's see. Alright guys, just wrote some quick turtle code. Gonna handle the positions like so. Check this out. This is an example of how the turtle will move when I send it commands. So just FYI, recording again, guys. Gonna wrap up the episode in a minute, but I want to show this. You ready? Check this out, player. Tell me what you think. So that's forward left, or that's forward right. That's back left. That's forward left. And that's back right.
Just
Yep. You like? Blair's like, I don't know, I can't see. My goggles are glowing. You want to see it, Soren? Or did you?
I did.
Okay. So is that cool? Well, for 2 steps at once, like I actually want it to go like if it's jumping a guy here, I want him to actually go like here, here, and then the here, here bit. That kind of thing. But we'll see. Yeah, we're gonna have to tweak it a little bit. Attack down. Yeah, I was debating whether I wanted to do that or not. Like actually make these mining picks and have them like break the turtle that they go with. But then I thought that would just be way too much of a nuisance when I want to do a new game. Like I'd have to have them like deploy the turtles and turn them on somehow, and nuisance. Yeah. I thought it would be cool, but for now, no. Maybe that's something we'll do in the future. I don't know. But unfortunately, guys, you know what time it is. Yep, it is definitely time to wrap up episode 43. Direwolf 20 signing off. I'm going to do a little bit more tweaking and coding and that kind of thing just to figure out, like, just the smoothest and most, efficient way that I can come up with to get these turtles moving around. But long story short, like, they now know how to move. And I'm basically going to have the program say, like, hey, I know which direction you want to go. Like, if you're going from here to here, then I'll know to send the forward right command. And that's what it'll do. It'll send FR. And, if it's jumping, maybe it'll send FR twice of some form. I'll have to figure out how to deal with the turtle trying to move down and failing. I don't want him to move up again. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll figure it out. Maybe I could just, maybe I'll separate the up and down movement. That might not be a bad idea. Yeah, I don't think it would be. All right, so for now, like I said, got to wrap up. So I'll catch you guys next time. Hopefully this turtle checkerboard will be a little bit more worked out. But for now, like I said, I uploaded the game that works just on a monitor for you. So if you want to download that, just grab it, put it on any computer. Don't forget my button API. I should probably go ahead and update that for you. Paste in, put button. At this point, the only thing I'm really using the button API for is the new game button. Click, and it actually works. But, I went ahead and put it up there for you guys so that you can grab the button API. You need button and checkers. Those are the only 2 programs you need to play checkers with your friend on a computer craft monitor. Cool. Like I said, probably some bugs, so let me know if you find any. All right, guys, gotta go. So take it easy.